Alright everyone, I wanted to tell you guys a really cool trick on how to farm a whole bunch of Zeny from the Endless Tower. And you don't actually have to be a high level to do this, you can be a low level, but you do still have to be level 52 because that is going to be the minimum level in order to enter the Endless Tower. So let me explain how this little trick is going to work. So first of all, you need to be level 52. That's going to be the minimum level to enter. And then second of all, what you want to do is you want to join a group. It can either be a friend, it can be a guild member, it can be anybody, but you want to join a group with somebody who has done a high level of the Endless Tower. Now, you don't actually have to do the high level of Endless Tower yourself, but if you join a group with somebody who has, you'll be able to actually go to the Endless Tower and you'll be able to join up to the level that whoever in your group is in. Now what you want to do, this is what this little trick is you want to clear a high level floor, but you don't want it to be an MVP floor and you don't want it to be a mini boss floor. So you do not want it to be a 10 floor like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You don't want it to be one of those floors, and you don't want it to be a 3 or a 6 floor. So 3, 6, 13, 16, 23, 26, 33, 36. You don't want it to be one of those. You want it to just be a trash monster floor. Like a really good example would be like floor 51, floor 52, 54, 55, 57, 58, or 59. So once again, you don't want it to be an MVP floor and you don't want it to be a mini boss floor. You want to just clear a regular trash floor. You don't have to clear it with your group. As long as somebody is in your group that has done a high level floor, you just want to join and you want to kill the trash monsters and clear that floor. Now, because there's not going to be an MVP or a mini boss, the floor should not be that difficult in order to clear. Even if you are not a really high level, you don't have really good gear, you can take your time, there's no rush, it shouldn't really be too difficult. And what clearing that high level floor is going to do is it's going to unlock the ability for you to go back to all the lower level floors and do them later on. Now, you'll only actually get loot for the floor that you clear. So if I were to clear floor 51, I would only get the loot for floor 51, but I could go back to floors 1 through 50 now on my own without being in a group, and I could clear them anytime that I want. Now, there's going to be two colors in the Endless Tower. There's going to be this dark blue color that you see, and then there's going to be this light blue color. Now, the dark blue color means that you have cleared that floor and that you've gotten the loot from it, and you have to wait until the weekly reset on Monday in order to get the loot from it again. Now, the light blue color means that you can still go to that floor, but you haven't actually cleared it and you haven't gotten the loot from it yet. You don't actually have to waste your time going to the floors that don't have mini bosses and MVPs on them. Floors like 21, 22, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, those floors just have regular trash monsters. They aren't really going to give you much good loot. You don't have to do them if you don't want to. As long as you have that high level floor unlocked, you can go back to any of the boss floors or any of the mini boss floors and clear them later. And really honestly isn't worth your time to clear the floors that don't have mini bosses or MVPs on them. So now that you have unlocked the ability to run any of the low level floors, you haven't gotten loot from them, so all of these should be that light blue color. Now what you want to do is now you can go back to the 3, the 6 floors, and if you want to, of course, the 10 floors for the MVPs, and you can hunt down the mini bosses that you want to. So the 3 and the 6 floors will have mini bosses on them, and the 10 floors will have MVPs on them. So the 3 and the 6 floors are going to be 3, 6, 13, 16, 23, 26, 33, 36. The 10 floors, of course, 10, 20, 30, 40. Those will have MVPs. 3 of the 6s will have mini bosses. And what you can actually do is you can pick which mini bosses and MVPs you want to hunt down, because all the different channels are going to have different mini bosses and MVPs on them. Now, there's a really cool website for the Southeast Asia, the SEA version of the game, that actually shows you what all the different mini bosses and MVPs are. And I will link this in the description as well as briefly show you guys on the screen, and it makes your life a whole lot easier because as you can see on the 3 and the 6 floors, you will have a whole bunch of different mini bosses that spawn, and all the bosses will be the same across the same channels with the last digit. So if I go back to my screen and we take a look at the channel that I'm on the 22 channel. So the last number is a 2, which means all channels that also have the last number 2 will have the same MVPs and mini bosses. So that's channel 2, 12, 22, 32, If we were to do 1, then 1, 11, 21, 31, those will have the same mini bosses MVPs. 0, there's a 0 on this list. This is going to be channels 10, because the last digit to 10 is a 0, 10, 20, 30. So as you can see, there's 10 different versions of the Endless Tower each week, and this does reset weekly on Monday. And each of these different versions is going to have a completely different list of mini bosses and a completely different list of MVPs. So here's the MVP list right here for the 10 floors, so 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. And you can see which mini bosses are going to spawn, which MVPs are going to spawn. And then this one is for the mini bosses. So what you can do is you can pick and choose which mini bosses that you want to go to and clear. And if you look at the drop table, you'll see that some mini bosses, of course, will have much better drops than others. Now, my recommendation is going to be Smokey, especially for the early levels because of this raccoon leaf. Everybody needs 2 raccoon leaves in order to rank up their adventure skill. So because of that, raccoon leaves are very, very popular, and even though they drop from the easiest mini boss in the game, because everybody needs so many of them, and Smokey is so easy to kill, it's really, really tough to go do this on your own. If you go to Southgate and try to kill Smokey on your own, good luck with that. So what you can actually do is you could take a look at the list of mini bosses that are going to spawn in the Endless Tower on floor 3, for example, in the Southeast Asia server. And this week, on the 7 and the 8 channels, so it'll be 7, 17, 27, or 8, 18, 28, Smokey will actually be on floor number 3. And you can see that if you want to clear him on floor number 13, he's going to show up again on the 7 channels. If you want to clear him on channel 60 or on the 16th floor, he'll be in the 5 floors or the 5 channels, so 5, 15, 25. And this is going to make it really easy to try to hunt down those raccoon leaves and make a lot of Zeny. So you can pick and choose which bosses that you actually want to clear. You don't actually have to kill a whole bunch of high-level MVPs in order to do this, because by using the trick, you can end up going to a single floor with just trash monsters on it, no mini bosses, no MVPs. And if I were to clear floor 51, I could go back and I could now kill the mini bosses on any of the 3 and 6 floors before floor 51. So that's really, really cool, and it makes this a lot easier and a great way to farm Zeny by picking which mini bosses you want to hunt down. Now you can do this on each character on your account as well. So each floor you can only get the loot from it once, but if you do play multiple characters, each character will be able to get the loot once from Endless Tower. The last thing I wanted to talk about is these projectors, because they might make your farming a little bit easier. Now if you go to the Endless Tower and you do end up killing MVP floors, if you clear floor 20, what it's going to do is it's going to make it so that next week floors 1 through 20, so all the floors below 20 will no longer have trash monsters in them. So if I were to go to the Endless Tower right now, let's just go to a mini boss floor as an example. Let's go to 16, which is going to be a mini boss floor. Now if I go to 16, you'll see that there's not going to be any trash monsters. There's just going to be the single mini boss, which makes it really, really easy to farm and really, really easy to kill. Now, if I were to go to a higher level floor in the Endless Tower, like let's go to floor 36 now. I want to show you. So if I were to go to 36, this is also a mini boss floor. You'll see that, unfortunately, not only is there the mini boss, but there's a whole bunch of trash monsters as well. And the reason is, when you end up clearing floor 20, the next week floors 1 through 20 will have no trash monsters. If I were to clear floor 40, the next week floors 21 through floor 40 will have no trash monsters. Now, if you can't actually end up killing the MVP yourself, what you can actually do is you can buy these projectors. These things right here. Now you might notice that the higher level ones say available after completing Endless Tower floor 50, floor 60, floor 70. You might be thinking, well, don't I have to actually kill the MVP at least once to be able to use these projectors? Well, the answer is no, because very similar to that trick that I taught you guys earlier to be able to unlock going back to any of the floors, the same thing works for these projectors. So if I were to actually clear floor 51, then even though this floor does not have mini bosses or it doesn't have MVPs on it, because I cleared a floor that is higher than floor 50, I will actually be able to use the level 50 projector. And if I can't end up killing the boss, if I want to spend the meatballs on it, I can do that. Now, they get pretty expensive. As you can see, the 40 ejectors cost 75 meatballs, but it's a last resort if you want to go the next week without having to worry about trash monsters for hunting down your mini bosses. Then it might actually be worth doing so, and you'll also get the loot from the MVP as well. So you don't actually have to kill the high MVP floors in order to end up using these projectors if you don't want to. You can use that same trick that I told you guys to be able to use these as well. So with that trick being said, you can actually take a look at the list of loot from the mini bosses. If you have premium, you'll be able to take a look at the loot. If you don't, you'll only be able to see the MVPs. But you can hunt down any of the mini bosses that drop good items. And once again, my recommendation would be Smokies because of those raccoon leaps. Great way to make money. I've actually almost accumulated 10 million Zeny on this character, and quite a bit of it has actually been from Endless Tower loot this week. So that's going to be it for this video. I threw a lot of information at you guys. I'm sure those of you who are newer still might have questions, so if you do, feel free to let me know in the comments section. But if you guys enjoyed this video and this little trick, consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this and leaving a like as well. If you are newer to Ragnarok M and you're interested in some more videos, guides, and tutorials, they should be popping up on the screen right about now. Once again, if you do have any questions or feedback, feel free to let me know in the comments section of the video. Thanks again, everyone, and until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.